Hey guys, happy Wednesday night. This is like take 4. I'm not even kidding because my dog just keeps like being loud. So take 4. Here I am. Happy Wednesday evening. How is everybody doing? I want to let you know that I'm going to do 1 or 2 lives within the next couple of days. So I am going to do one tomorrow night. I got to double check the poll options, but I'm pretty sure that was the most popular date, but that we had a couple other people who maybe won't be able to do that. So I will also do like either a Friday or a Saturday, but I'll figure that all out and get back to you. And how those work is you just hop on the page here. I'll be live on this page, meaning that it won't be a pre-recorded video. I will hop on here. I'll, of course, always have something to talk about, right? But I really like to have, give an opportunity for some more engagement within the group. So you can comment with questions or suggestions, things you want to talk about. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm going to have 2 devices running this time. So my phone in order to record and then to be able to do the video part. And then I think I'm going to have my laptop set up so that I can check the comments section. And I don't think it's going to be as delayed, because what happened last time is people would ask a question or make a comment and it was delayed. And so I would see it like a minute after and I'm like, oh, what was that about? And I'd have to ask them. So we're going to try to just cut that part out. For tonight, just coming on here with a topic, piggybacking, it's been a long day, off of the question that was given by a group member last Friday that I answered about dating after divorcing a narcissist. So there's something that I want to piggyback off of that. Whether you have divorced a narcissist and you're dating or you're not, this is going to be relevant to you. Because so many of us who were married or in a relationship with a toxic individual felt like we really didn't have a lot of say in the relationship or in anything, really, not even just in the relationship, but while we were in this relationship. And unfortunately, after you are out of this toxic situation, whether you got a divorce or you broke up with this person or whatever it is, or it's maybe even someone that you worked with, but I'm more gearing towards like a relationship, like a romantic relationship with someone. So whatever the situation is, there is something called post-separation abuse. And this is why I say not so much when you leave like a job and you're, around someone who's narcissistic. It's more if you were intimate with a person. So post-separation abuse is very real. And that is why you still feel like you're being controlled and you don't really have that much of a say in your life. To this day, you might feel that way. And I want to talk to you about how to get around that, okay? And it has to do with boundaries. I coach on this. I'm not going to get in depth right here about the kinds of boundaries to set that are good and healthy. But what I want to talk to you about is how to maintain a level of control and to feel that sense of control and that you're in charge in your life when your boundaries are either ignored or, just plain stepped on. Okay. And so after you've left someone, you think, aha, freedom, it's all going away. Well, it doesn't, right? Like I explained, you've got something called post-separation abuse. This little thing, being sarcastic, it's huge. You are still the target for the negative abuse, or for the negative supply, excuse me. You're still that target, okay? Accept that. Number 2, you get a boundary. You get boundaries set, okay? And oftentimes, these are not going to be respected. And that will make you feel like, oh my gosh, I am still living under the foot of this ex. And I want to talk to you about how you can get out of that mindset, because you do have control. It just is going to look differently from how you think it should, okay? So you create boundaries, right? And you may feel like they're not being respected. You may feel like they're being stomped on, right? Here's what you do have the power to do. You have the power to choose to, if they're, dismissing your boundary, you have the power to engage with them or not, right? to jump when they say jump and you say how high, or to just let it be and seek some counsel for a while, right? You can choose not to let your ex see your reaction when they cross the line, right? You can choose not to let them see that. And you can break down on your own, but not let them see that, because that gives them supply. You can choose to engage with them in anything they throw your way, or to politely decline the argument. One of my favorite lines is, and it's really healthy, I'll say, hey, this seems important to you, but you sound really angry right now, and I'd rather have this conversation when you're feeling more calm. Boom, boundary set, okay? They're still bugging me about something that they really shouldn't, but I just set this boundary of saying, I'm not going to talk about it right now, okay? You can choose when to reply to them about something. You can choose, you do, when you have kids with someone like this, you do have to engage with them, but you can just say, let me think about that and I'll reply by this date. I know I've mentioned these things before. One of their favorite things to do is, when you have kids with them and you've come to some sort of agreement with them, whether it be a parenting agreement or, just values or whatever, something you're going to work on together for your child, and then for whatever reason, they just decide, nope, I guess I don't agree to that anymore. And you're like, what? We had this agreement. What do you mean? Like, now you're not going to do this? Yeah, this is a very, very common when you have an agreement with your ex and they're no longer served by this, the rules no longer apply to them. That's just the way it goes. So if they're inconvenienced by an agreement that you guys have made, they're going to change it up. And you might feel like, what the actual hell, right? Of course you feel that way. What are you going to do about it? Well, here's what you got to do. Here's what you got to do. You got to accept that basically anything you agree to might not be a real agreement, okay? It might be for now, but very likely going to change, okay? You accept it and look at where you still have the control. So here's an example. Whenever I have to travel and that travel schedule interferes with the custody schedule, I might say, can we switch these dates, right? And he does that too. Like, oh, we have this trip coming up. Can we switch these dates? We keep it even. So like if, I'm going to lose 3 of my days with my kids, I'll say, can I have these 3 and you take my 3, whatever. And we agree on it, right? And most of the time it works out okay. But I never walk away from that agreement without a plan B. Okay. Soon as I have that plan A, I know that depending on where we are in the post-separation abuse cycle or what's going on in his life that usually I don't know anything about because I don't want to, usually, I have to know that this agreement is an agreement for now. And if down the road it's going to inconvenience him in any way, or he finds something that he'd rather do, that agreement might be off the table. And it doesn't matter if I've booked plane tickets and whatever, okay? I always have a plan B, so that if I am traveling somewhere, I'll say, I'll ask my mom before I book anything. I'll say, hey, if this falls through, are you able to take the kids so that I can actually, make this trip, right? And if she's free, she says, yeah. Then I have a plan B. Then I feel a lot better. Do you see how there's my control? Do you see? So that if he all of a sudden changes, says, nope, sorry, I can't take them anymore. And maybe I had a graduation in Iowa that I want to go to. I'm from Iowa, for one of my friend's kids or something. I don't have to miss that because I came up with a plan B. Do you see how that works? So is it fair that an agreement that we made might be broken? No, it's not fair. But I don't expect fairness. Okay? Why should I now if I never could before? When you think about it, it took me forever to realize that. Why should I expect something now that I never had before? if I couldn't count on promises and agreements and being respected and my time being important back then, why should I now? So once I realized that my power laid in my power was lived in a space where I could come up with a plan B. Okay? All of the sudden, I started feeling better. That's what happened. I started feeling better, more in control of my life. And again, it looks different than how you think it should look, right? You think it should look fair now. It's not gonna look fair. It's really not. Not if you divorce someone who's a narcissist. Not gonna look fair. So you have to think ahead a few steps, have a plan B. That's where you have your power, so that when they bail on you, you can say to yourself, it's no big deal, I'm still going. You can tell them if you really want to rub it in their face if you think they're just trying to inconvenience you. But I mean, really, that doesn't help. But that's where you get power. So I encourage you to think about, well, first accepting the fate, right? That after divorcing a narcissist or someone toxic, you really don't have the kind of power that you think you might have had when you left the relationship. And you have every right to grieve that realization. But concentrate on what you can do so that you are less inconvenienced and less let down and you feel in charge of your life. It's just gonna look different from the life of someone who divorced a healthy person, okay? So that's what I have for you today, guys. I know this was kind of rambly. I am exhausted. I'm so tired. Today was kind of a hard day. But I hope that you at least got something out of that. And I'm looking forward to the live. All right. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a great rest of your night and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.